Yo, what's up guys? It's Troy P here. Today we're going to be going over funded trading. So actually kind of a super fun topic. I'm excited about it. I myself am a funded trader, which is super cool that I finally get to make a video going over my experiences and stuff. So let's get into it.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
So let's define funded trading. Funded trading is when an institution like a prop firm, there's multiple of them, so I won't actually name any of them, but they allow traders to get these funded accounts through different steps and stages where traders provide different trades and can prove their risk management capabilities. Usually stage one would look something like gaining 10% while only losing a certain amount of XYZ. And then stage two would be a tightened version of that where you gain that same 10% while only losing X, Y, and Z. So that's kind of like the stages, and it's what's known as a challenge for new traders. And usually the upside of it is that it's very cheap to buy. You can buy a $25,000 account, $50,000 account for only like $150, but you have to go through the challenge, if that makes sense. You guys might already have some questions, a little bit of skepticism maybe, so I want to address some of the things that might be on your mind and help decide if this is right for you or not. So first thing up we must address is that these prop firms are making money from traders actually not passing. That's super important to know, is that traders such as you and I, we only have to pay like $100 to $150 to try these challenges. These big prop firms, they're making a significant portion of their profit from us trading. They're not making as much money from the real live funded traders. They're making a lot of money from people failing their challenges. So super important to know before getting into it. And then part two that you need to consider is, what would your actual live account balance be? And the reason that that's important is because if you're already trading with like $5,000, $10,000 in your account, there's no reason to try and get that funded account. There's no reason to even risk that $100, $200 that you could just put into a trade, because that's something that would work for your account size. However, if you're only coming into the market with say like $150 to try and learn with, at that point in time, you might as well try to get a funded account. So let's talk about the challenge a little bit more. The challenge is what a lot of people would call the funded account, and obtaining it, like the steps you go through, stage one, stage two, and depending on the prop firm, if there's multiple stages upward, those are the challenge, is to get the live account. So for the one that I became funded through, called Top Step, is a two-stage challenge where you have to turn the account from $2,000 into $4,000 twice with proper risk management. And I think that the drawdown limit per day was $300, and the weekly max loss was $500, I believe. And when you do stage two, it's even more tight, where you have to say maybe like 150 per day, 250 per week. And those aren't the exact figures. I would have to go back and look, and should have, but those are kind of what you would get to know to be the challenge figures. And making sure you adhere to those is super hard, especially for new traders. A lot of people actually are disqualified from the trading challenge because they're not able to stick with these limits. So even if you say for the first week you start off great, you started at that $2,000, you have a $500 week, you're already a quarter of the way there. Next week, say you have a shitty day, you lose $200, $300, you could, with the wrong prop firm, be disqualified for that bad day. So that's already starting to show you guys a couple of the disadvantages of this, but I want to go even further and show you guys that if you leave a trade open over the weekend, you're disqualified, you're done, you're not getting your money back with almost all of the prop firms. And to me, that's kind of, that's really not the way forex is traded, because a lot of traders do hold throughout the weekend. I personally don't. I always try and make sure my trades are closed by Friday so that I can realize my profit and loss, and it's part of my own trading strategy to do that. But I just wanted to make sure you guys know that rule, is that if you're going ahead and trading through the weekend, then you're going to be disqualified, and this isn't for you. Note, there is some trading accounts and funded trades that will let you hold through the weekend, but overall I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that. Another big one is that certain prop firms will not allow you to trade high impact news events. So say you want to trade NFP, which is non-farm payrolls for the US dollar employment data, certain prop firms won't let you trade during those times, and that can stem for 2 to 3 hours on some of the best times to trade in the market in general. So definitely wanted to make sure you guys were getting all of that information before we move on. So now that we went over the disadvantages and a couple of the cons, I feel like it's only right to go over what is the pro and the positive about funded account. And there are kind of a good amount of them, but we're gonna go just with the main basic one, that is risk reward ratio. So let's think about it. If you're risking $150 to get this account and you're trying to obtain an account that's upwards of say $25,000, your risk is pretty low considering the reward that you could have. Granted, the work that you have to do is much different than in trading when we say there's a risk reward per trade. Not what we're talking about. We're just talking about general human terms right now. What you're risking to what you're getting in return is generally pretty good. I mean, depends on the prop firm, depends on how much work you have to do, but the concept is pretty good, especially if you're a talented trader. I would say it's definitely something you should look into if you're already not. For $150 to get a $150,000 account, really good deal. In my own personal experience, I had a little bit of a letdown when I found out what the actual reward of my own labors was, and that letdown kind of happened because Top Step, they say you get a $300,000 account, but it was $3,000 with 1 to 100 leverage. So not every prop firm calculates it this way. I'm pretty sure FTMO will literally give you that $300,000 account with the leverage, so you're actually trading it. But it kind of just is a little bit of, that was a letdown to me. I don't mean to bring this into the positives, because funded account is really something to brag about and be positive about. But I just wanted to let you guys know all of the things that might be seen as negative before really getting into the positives. So the risk reward is definitely there, but make sure that you look into what the actual account is when you get it, and ensure that leverage is not part of the equation for what the overall account balance will be. So in this video, I've kind of already told you some of the inside secrets that probably other funded traders won't tell you. Another one that I'm gonna tell you guys that a lot of the prop firms won't want you to know is that when you have this funded account challenge done and completed, and you get your actual funded account challenge or funded account, you have to sign a bunch of things, which is no big deal. But then you start trading on your live account, and once you make that profit, it's kind of like you don't get it until you want to be done. So for me with Top Step, my problem was like I had bills to pay at the end of the month, and I had just started trading a live account at the beginning. So I had like a 1 month like trading thing. And I think I made like $4,000, $5,000. And then I wanted to go withdraw like half of it. And they were like, no, sorry, that'll break the weekly loss limit, which is what got rolled over from the trial stage. And your challenge is that you still have to maintain those proper guidelines to make sure that you're not over risking or over trading or losing them money. And that was pretty hurtful to me, because I was like, hey, I just made all this money. You said it was mine. You didn't say anything about me losing the account when I went to withdraw. So that was a little bit unfortunate for me, but I still got it all. I got it in my bank account pretty much the next day. It was pretty seamless. It's something, again, that I had to tell you guys. So there's definitely advantages and disadvantages, and hopefully this video kind of helped clear up some of them. If you have any questions on funded accounts, make sure you drop a comment down below, like, subscribe. I'm Troy P, and I will be back next week. Thanks.